Welcome to my channel where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria that was held on February 25 and the result announced on March 1st, and the result is being disputed at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja. And the result of that election is that Aswad Bola Tinubu is the president of Nigeria right now until the Supreme Court rules otherwise. Now, I'm among those who believe that the judiciary of Nigeria is capable of doing good for the largest number of people, which means for the generality and the interest of the whole of Nigeria. I know there are a lot of skeptics about the capacity of the Nigerian judiciary to do justice. But I believe strongly that Nigerian judiciary can rise above the skepticisms and the fear of alleged corruption that has characterized most institutions in Nigeria, including the judiciary, that a whole lot of people have lost confidence in any institution in Nigeria, including the judiciary. And also, I'm particularly excited that the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi, has confidence in the judiciary. And of course, in his own case, his confidence is based on the fact that he has gotten several justices through the courts of Nigeria in various times. He was able to reclaim his mandate after 3 years, 2006. When he was impeached, he was able to use the judiciary to get back to power. When his tenure was cut short, he was able to use the judiciary to come back. And his life has been a monumental exhibit of what the judiciary can accomplish in Nigeria. But we are living in interesting times. So a whole lot of people are skeptical. And it's that skepticism that the question now I've been seeing so many people asking questions about the capacity of the present judiciary to deliver justice. And I trust that they can be able to deliver justice. But many Nigerians do not think so. Back to the level that they even want the Chief Justice of Nigeria to recuse himself. There are groups, many Nigerians, who are so concerned that they want the Chief Justice of Nigeria to recuse himself from the Presidential Election Tribunal when the matter gets to the Supreme Court. So this is an issue that this channel is going to discuss right now. The issue of call for the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ariwoola, that he should recuse himself when this matter, the presidential election matter, gets to the Supreme Court. But this issue, as far as I'm concerned, is a double-edged sword. There's an issue that we can also talk about and see what is the way forward as a result of the deficit of confidence in the judiciary and a whole lot of people who have raising issues about our judiciary, including the alleged close relationship between the Chief Justice of Nigeria and President Bola Tinubu, which is just mere allegation. But it has been of concern to a whole lot of people. So we are going to look at it because back in April, a civil society organization, Inter-Society, called on the Chief Justice of Nigeria to recuse himself from the headship of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal over alleged affinity with Tinubu. They call on the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Chief Olukayode Oriwoola, to recuse himself from the headship of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal over alleged affinity with Bola Ahmed Tinubu on moral grounds to avoid conflict of interest. The group said that the CJN Tinubu factor was the greatest threat to the 2023 presidential election petition, especially its memberships, proceedings, and outcome. At the time, the chairman of Inter Society, Mr. Emeka Ume Abalasi, in a statement said that the appellate and the Supreme Court's membership of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal must be unbiased and bear true reflection of ethnic and religious balance. The statement reads in part, it says, having carefully followed the recent People's Gazette and Sahara Reporters exclusive reports on CJN's partisanship and affinity with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, such as alleged recent clandestine meeting of the Doe in London to allegedly harm 2023 Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, and responses from the CJN's media handlers and his public defense by APC-led outgoing government of Nigeria. Inter-Society is making bold to say that the CJN Tinubu factor is the greatest threat to the 2023 Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, especially its membership, proceedings, and outcomes. We are also not unaware of strong allegations leveled against the CJN over his alleged partisan comments during his recent alleged outing with outgoing Governor Wike of Rivers State over G5 governors and APC and Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State. It is in the view of the foregoing that we are calling on the lovers and defenders of democracy and the rule of law in Nigeria to rise and beg CJN Olukayode Oriwoola to recuse himself from the headship of the Presidential Election Petition on moral grounds so as to avoid conflict of interest. We must also be prayed to allow the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal to dispense justice in the pending cases with forensic and unbiased minds, including consideration of the pending cases strictly on the preponderance of evidence and dominant public opinions regarding the shambolic outcome of the 2023 presidential poll. Umar Balasi, however, urged Nigerians to remain promoters of due process and rule of law at all times. Therefore, in spite of revolutionary anger in the minds of most Nigerian lovers of democracy and rule of law, occasioned by the armada of fraud that characterized the 2023 presidential poll and others, due process of law must be followed and allowed at all times. Nigerians must also avoid playing into the hands of the outgoing federal government of Nigeria and its desperate and remorseless agents. This is more so when it is now on indelible record that the outgoing government has gained an international notoriety in the election rigging, bastardization, and corruption of democratic process. It must be further noted that the outgoing government of Nigeria is unrepentant and fiercely fighting to retain its disastrous legacy of leaving Nigeria in the hands of political bandits and banditry. Lovers of democracy and rule of law must therefore avoid resorting to illegalities and illegal acts and refrain from joining forces with political buccaneers and other democratic forces to unseat the present socio-legal system in the country and give room for a military or martial law, an aberration and dangerous threat to democratic principles and a fundamental breach of Section 1, 2 of the 1999 Constitution. Now, when this inter-society issued this statement, they were concerned based on allegation leveled against the Chief Justice of Nigeria, which was published in the Gazette newspaper and the Sahara Reporters. But those allegations were denied by the Chief Justice of Nigeria. But you know that within that period, those allegations against the CJN in terms of his relationship with Tinubu, it was alleged that they had a meeting in London and all that, which was denied. And even several NGOs here in Abuja staged demonstration, also insisting that the Chief Justice of Nigeria must recuse himself from the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. And as the case is getting to a close at the appeal court, and it will eventually get to the Supreme Court, tension are heightening in the country in terms of what will be the outcome of the court process. Because those who felt that they were robbed in the election are looking up to the courts for remedy. So anything that they think could stand in the way of getting justice, they want those things to be dismantled. So some people are saying that, like this inter-society, that the Chief Justice of Nigeria should recuse himself. And there are a lot of things happening in the country right now that are giving a lot of people concern about the capacity of the courts to be able to give justice. Only recently, the President Tinubu requested for 500 billion naira for palliatives. And within that 500 billion, the Nigerian Judicial, headed by Ariwoola, was to receive 35 billion. Dino Melaye, a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party and currently the governorship candidate of the PDP in the upcoming Kogi State governorship election, is alleging that that money is allegedly a kind of trying to win favor of the judiciary ahead of the verdicts of the election. And Ariwoola is the head of the judiciary. Also, only recently, the son of Ariwoola was among those that was recommended to be made high court judges. Now, all these are the things that are giving people concern about Ariwoola's neutrality in terms of getting verdicts or giving unbiased verdict. And Ariwoola himself is key to some of the issues in the court. For example, the issue of the forfeiture of $460,000 by Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the United States government. It was Ariwoola, as a Supreme Court judge, in 2014 in the case between Mohammed Abacha and the federal government that the definition of forfeiture was made by the apex court. And that definition will come to play in the case of Tinubu. What is the definition of forfeiture, which is already known in 2014? Is it the same meaning? If it is the same meaning in 2023, it means that Tinubu is going to, I don't know how he's going to survive it. So will Ariwoola now in 2023 redefine what forfeiture means, different from what he said it was in 2014? So many things are playing out. But is that sufficient enough to doubt the neutrality of the Chief Justice of Nigeria ahead of the coming judicial adjudication on the election, which is definitely going to end up in his desk as the head of the Supreme Court of Nigeria? So what is the way forward? What is the way forward? Is it that are we to say, okay, that we trust him, that whatever may be his relationship with Tinubu, that he will deliver justice with his colleagues based on evidence, based on the law, with disregard to personal relationship and affinity? That is the million-dollar question that needs an answer. Because many people are beginning to get concerned, especially in what appears now to be the desperation of the APC to retain power, especially following the last presentation of the APC, where Tinubu's lawyer was talking about that if the election of Tinubu is annulled as a result of not getting 25% in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, that is going to be it could cause chaos in the country. Because that statement, many people are interpreting it as a statement of desperation. So, what do we do? What should Nigerians do? Should they support groups like Inter Society, who are saying that the Chief Justice of Nigeria should recuse himself? Or should they allow him, believing that anybody who was able to rise to the position of Chief Justice of Nigeria should be able to live above personal affinity and deliver justice, as he says it? It's a very serious issue that is of concern to so many people. But the issue is that if you ask him to recuse himself, and he had in mind of allegedly helping Tinubu, that would be a good thing. But supposing you recuse him, and those you left behind, his colleagues, will get angry that their colleague was being recused unnecessarily, and they now deliver a verdict that will still go the way that majority of Nigerians may not like. That is the issue. It is a double-edged sword. Recall that in 2019, the president of the Court of Appeal, Justice Zainab Bukachua, was also asked by the presidential candidate of PDP in 2019, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, that Bukachua should recuse herself. She was then the president of the Court of Appeal. that she should recuse herself because of her husband, Senator Bukachua, who was a chieftain of the APC, that she's not going to be fair to Atiku Abubakar and the People's Democratic Party. There were protests here and there that Bukachua must recuse herself. And the woman recused herself. But at the end of the day, when the matter of Atiku was tabled before the justices, those that were allowed, who were believed to be unbiased, okay, since Bukachua was alleged to be biased because of her husband. At the end of the day, Atiku still lost the election, still lost in the courts, the tribunal. Okay, which means her colleagues could as well say, okay, that their colleague was being bullied and that and are being accused of bias unnecessarily. So they can even, because of that, deliver a verdict that could hurt those who championed that their colleague should be recused. So it's a double-edged sword. The idea of asking a justice to recuse himself or herself. But this is of concern to a lot of Nigerians. I don't know what you think about this. What do you think? Do you think Nigerians should have confidence in the Ariwoola-led Supreme Courts to deliver justice? Therefore, no need to ask for any member of the Supreme Court justice to recuse himself or herself when the matter gets to the Supreme Court? Or do you have fears that if somebody like Ariwoola is not allowed to recuse himself, the possibility of Peter Obi getting justice will be very, very slim? So what do you think? Whatever you think, you can put down your comments on the commentary box. We'd like to hear from you. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. God bless you and yours.